Yo, it's Withers back with another one. This shit's a slippery slope, dude. It's a slippery slope, right? You start like this. You start going, I'm just not gonna make music because one, I'm not driven. Two, I don't have people to do it with, and lastly, there's no call for my music. There's no, real demand. There's no need for my music for many, sub reasons. No one wants it. No one knows that it exists. Great music already exists. Again, no one really wants it, right? There's like a million reasons under that umbrella alone that kind of discourage you from making music. And as soon as you start thinking that, as soon as you start, thinking no one wants my music, there's no point of me making music, you can start to, extrapolate that to, hold on, let me turn this bullshit down. You can sort of like extrapolate that to really your life and then everything else, like everyone's lives and just everything to ever exist. Like, okay, there's no need for me to do it because people are already doing it, and there's no real need for me to do it. There's no call for me to do it. People are doing it much better than I could ever do it. There's no real need to do it. There's no, point. You can apply that to your life, and that's what I've been doing for like ever since I've been playing guitar. That's been one of the biggest sort of, I don't know, ways of thinking that have been plaguing me. And it sucks. It sucks. As soon as you start thinking that, you can apply that to your life, dude. You can be like, yo, okay, let's not just leave it at music. Let's talk about life now. Why do I have to live life? There's like 8 billion people, other people doing this. Why do I have to live life? There's no need for me to do it because 8 billion other people are doing it. You know, and that feeling is hard to shake. I know it sounds ridiculous as soon as you kind of zoom out and start, saying that about life itself. But then, regardless, it's hard to shake. I can't shake that feeling that, yo, there is no need to do this. And I realize, like, I've been mostly touching on the fact that no one wants it, and I haven't really at all, or I haven't really touched on how it'd be beneficial for me to put it out, whether people want it or not. Like for me to make it, which should be like the most important part of making music, right? Not necessarily people hearing it, but you making it and just getting it out there and getting it off of your chest and whatnot into the universe, right? And that might be the case for like the next musician. Like that might be the sort of saving grace that, even if people don't listen to it, I at least get to make it, and I get fulfillment off of making it and just putting it out into the universe. I don't like making music. I don't like making music. But then for some reason I'm kind of torn, bro. I don't like the process. I don't like sitting down. Let me be specific here and clear. I don't like sitting down there by flipping FL Studio. I don't like plugging in my guitar, my cable into my guitar, and then the other end of the cable into my pedals, and then my from my pedals into the interface, and then my interface into the amp, and then the amp into the, or like the other way around, the amp into the interface, and then the interface into the, I don't like doing that. I don't like making sure that the laptop can read the interface. I don't like sitting there making sure that, my strumming is on time with this very robotic ass flipping super quantized beat, because that's one of the things I used to do, right? I used to record on fake drums, like programmed drums. Back when I did give it a go, and back when I hadn't yet realized just how how much I disliked making music, making it. I like playing it, which is why I feel like I would really succeed in an environment where I'm surrounded by like two or three other individuals, like-minded individuals, and I've touched on this before. I've literally touched on everything regarding my life on this channel. Just that I have to go over it again because these are fresh thoughts now. Being in a group, in a room or an environment with other like-minded individuals, and then they sort of have the passion for making music. They sort of have the passion for the nerdy stuff, I guess, when it comes to the actual recording and whatnot. That's the only kind of instance where, musically speaking, I can thrive. That's the only kind of environment where I can, because right now I'm definitely like a fish out of water. I'm definitely a fish out of water. I'm a fish, right? I'm a musician, but I'm out of water. I'm just not in the space to be. I'm not in the space to be. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking about stuff like, dude, don't even do this music thing, dude, because it's selfish, dude. I have like a million reasons just going against me. Not even going for me, but going against me. Being a musician is selfish. And I was thinking about this last night. I guess I just didn't record it or like speak into the camera about it because I haven't been in the groove of recording stuff as of late. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, making music is selfish because you kind of going there like you're going out there like, oh no, everyone look at me, forget what they're doing, look at me, listen to what I'm doing. Think of the biggest artists. Think about Taylor Swift. Sorry that I have to force you to think about Taylor Swift, but think about Taylor Swift, right? Biggest musical artist of our time, arguably biggest in terms of like success. I'm not necessarily speaking on her ability or her overall enjoyability, but the biggest, right? In terms of scale. Every time she drops, she's essentially, and this applies to every artist, but then I really want to focus on like a huge artist because they take a huge pool of the listeners. When she drops, or whenever anyone drops, the person is essentially saying, listen to me, forget what they're talking about, listen to my album, listen to what I have to say, me, listen to what I have to say, come to my live shows, come worship me, essentially. Even though they won't use the word worship, but that's what it is. That you head on there, you head at that stage for some sort of validation. It's very selfish. And again, I keep speaking about how my younger self really had it down to a T, dude. My younger self knew right from the jump, dude, that anything that I wanted to go into wasn't about me. I used to draw a lot of comics, right? That's where I get my love for like animatics and stuff, right? And I used to read like a lot of manga as a kid, right? I would see the names of the manga artists on the front of the book. I'll be like, that kind of ruins the immersion a little bit, you know? Well, it didn't ruin it for me, but then I was at that young, ripe age, I was able to see how that could put you out of that experience because it lets you know right out the gate that this was created and this isn't just the universe that exists on its own, you know? I knew from a very young age that whatever that I wanted to do wasn't about me. If I wanted to do comics, I wasn't gonna have I remember thinking that I never wanted people to know what I look like. Because again, I don't want people to associate my creations with a real human being. Because I really wanted people to feel like they were in the worlds that I was creating as a little kid. I drew little comics, mostly little fan fictions of existing manga. But then I did have like some original stuff. I still have the original. You can see me in the mirror over there. You see that little drawer over there? Yeah, I have a flip file of all. I say all, like most of my creations and stuff as a kid. I knew that from that ripe age. even with the time I was trying out, making music as a kid, like, and by that I mean recording, making a little beat on a Google Play app, sequencer app, and then opening up the phone voice recorder app, and then saying some rhymes, and to make a quote unquote song. Even with that, I knew that it wasn't about me, it was about the creation. Because even then, I didn't want people to know what I looked like. I remember there was a point, I told this story once on this channel. I, I, I remember there was a point when I didn't want to know what the members of Linkin Park looked like. Because I had built up this very unrealistic idea of them when I was a kid. Fortunately, they weren't too, they weren't half bad when I finally saw them. But yeah, that's how I thought, dude. So I'm older now. I'm trying to do the entrepreneurial thing with like the faux physical stuff, right? My younger self, dude, would have been like, dude, don't put yourself on the forefront. And I realize that. I do realize that I don't want to be on the forefront. In fact, I'm kind of tired of being on the forefront now. I kind of want to, you know, blend into the background a little bit because I can't pull off being on the forefront anyway. But my younger self, like even in that sort of avenue, he would have been like, dude, remove yourself from the not the limelight, but yeah, the forefront of your operations. Because it's not about you, it's about the product. So as I've grown older, dude, I've kind of developed a need and a very basic human need, dude. Like eating, like needing to go to the bathroom, like sneezing, I guess. I've developed a need to um be validated in whatever it is that I want to do. Obviously, everyone wants to be validated in whatever it is that they want to do, right? But the validation that I sought as I grew was very superficial and selfish. Cause I believe there is a way to be validated from whatever it is that you do without you being on the forefront of it. You can be validated by people just receiving your work very well. Let's say we're talking about comics again. People receiving your comics very well. You know, let's talk about music. People receiving your music very well. Not necessarily tying that back to you as a person, having people think, oh, this guy's so cool. Da 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 da. No. So I say all of this, dude, to just point out how selfish music can be. You know, I feel like it's easier for people to be a lot more selfish in the music sort of sphere of things because the music I don't know why I don't know why that is because I guess it's because most of the time the music is directly in correlation with the artist as opposed to like a book or something. The book can be about fictional characters, so you as the consumer of the book are tied to the characters within the book and not directly, not necessarily the creator, which is behind the wall of the creation that they've built. That's why it's a lot harder to be all boastful in that avenue of things, I guess. Compared to like music, because a lot of the time the story that you tell in music is your story, not always, but yeah. So yeah. Not to mention that in some genres like hip hop, being egotistical is a huge part of the genre and the music itself because it's all about being boastful. It's all about what I did, what I have. Obviously that's not every genre, but you get what I'm saying. Music is very tied to just being very egotistical. I guess. So it's selfish. And I don't really feel the need to be selfish. I tend to be selfish. I'm a human being, right? But in this sort of area, I just don't feel the need to do that. I just don't feel the need to fight over people's attention and persuade people into consuming whatever it is that I have to put out, which ultimately means that I don't really end up putting anything out. I'm battling, bro. I like playing guitar. I like playing guitar. I like the idea of being in a band and playing music with other people. That's the thing, dude. Like guitar. Like how are you gonna be driven to start a band but you play guitar, lousy guitar? Everyone and their mother plays guitar. Like how about you play bass or play drums or something, and then maybe start talking about, yeah, I want to be in a band. That's another thing, dude. I kind of a part of me kind of like shuts down whatever dreams that I have about playing music live by bringing up the fact that I'm a lousy guitarist. By lousy, I mean that I play guitar, not a. I almost said integral, but guitar is integral to rock music, but like a more sought after instrument. I'm the bottom of the bunch. Is that a phrase? I'm the bottom of the barrel. I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I'm the bottom of the barrel musician talking about some, oh, I want to pursue, I want to be in a band. I've had this dumbass reel looping for the past 15 minutes, like 17 minutes. And yes, I watch reels on my laptop. This isn't my laptop, it's Graham's laptop. Shout out Graham. Yeah, dude, I'm torn. I'm torn. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm only about 25% driven to make music, you know? And for that to be 100%, I'll need like at least 3 to 4 other people with varying but sufficient enough, you know, percentage or like desire to play music for us to ultimately make and play music. I mostly care about playing music, but obviously they're gonna want to make music. And you might be thinking, dude, then if you have so many trip ups with music, then chances are music isn't really for you. And that's possible. Like I said, I am battling. So it's gonna take a while for me to see if that's truly the case. You know? I'm trying to find a good reel I can kind of have idling. Like I said, dude, I've wanted to be in a band. I've wanted to play guitar. I've wanted to, I guess, be a musician since I was a kid, since before grade one. Listening to Linkin Park, watching AMVs. Oh shit, this music sounds cool. I wanna be involved in that somehow. I don't know. Maybe I should get a guitar. Maybe I should learn how to play guitar, type thing. Then I went on to learn how to play guitar. But I found myself just very. I'm in a dilemma of sorts. A dilemma of sorts, man. So between a rock and a hard place type thing. Damned if I do, damned if I don't type thing. Cognitive dissonance, if you will. Upholding two sort of beliefs. It isn't about me, man. It isn't about me. I need to tap in with that younger self mentality. It isn't about me. It isn't about me heading out there showing people that I know how to play power chords and being lauded. If you want to make music, then it's about the music. Yes, I get that playing music is gonna come with is tied to you performing it ultimately. That's if you want to be a performing act, right? But I feel like you're more. I'm talking to myself now. I feel like you're more focused on the performance of it, not necessarily the music. You said it yourself. You just want to perform music. You don't want to play music. I mean, you don't want to make music. So clearly, you're battling with that whole "I'm the shit, I'm on stage," yada 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 sort of way of thinking, and that's selfish. That's selfish, dude. I've been battling with this whole idea of making music for 5 years now, since 2021. 2021 is when I picked up guitar, and obviously since 2021, thoughts of obviously, dude, like thoughts of making music have been there, because you're not going to play an instrument, make original um material, and then not think about mm, turning it into actual music that people can listen to. So I've been thinking about making music for 5 years, and I haven't done it. I've been thinking about it for half a decade, and I haven't done it. So chances are I'm not gonna do it, at least in this state. And nor do I really want to do it in this state. I don't want to be a solo act. I'm not sure if I touched on that in this particular video. I don't want to be a solo act. God no. Like I said, I was trying it out a couple of years ago when I first, started recording, my ideas and stuff like properly into my laptop. But that isn't the way to go for me. That isn't the way to go. Hell no. I'd rather not make music than to be a solo act. You know? Thanks for listening, man. I was on a full physical mission actually today. I can't speak on that too much because my phone space is about to die. I'm about to run out, I mean. Yeah, I was on a full physical mission. I'm really sweaty, I'm really tired. Yeah, big things coming with the full physical shit. It's about to be an end of an era, not quite in the end of the era just yet, but it's coming soon. I'm gonna remove myself from that channel, I'm gonna scrub myself with that channel. I never want to be on there physically, but I'll be there in spirit. Yeah. We'll chat. Thanks for listening.